First order of business, well, to take care of some paperwork. Looks like we have some bills, which we have to pay. To the tune of $980.93. Anybody have any questions about these?
Why so much?
We went to the ice cream parlor, okay.
Why don't you pass them around, you can show
You
them.
can see.
Buy me anything with the money.
This is true. Basically, the copy machine and Mac dues for the year.
Oh, Mac.
Oh, those are, yeah, we pay for a third of the copier downstairs, so.
Make a motion, we pay the bills.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pay the bills to the amount of $980.93. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passed unanimously. Now we have a COC request for 17 Walker Road. Is this, gentleman, are you here for that case?
Let's see, is that it?
That's Walker
Oh,
Road.
yeah. You know what, I don't know what happened to my photos.
Oh.
I couldn't get them to do.
Mason's Post. Okay. I'll sign it back here. Okay, and you are,
My name is Scott Rogers from Flaherty and Stefani.
okay,
Like a brief presentation. We came before you a couple months ago for a notice of intent for this project on 17 Walker Road. It was for a septic system upgrade. Since that time, the septic system has been installed, new septic tank, biodiffusers up towards the road, up towards Walker Road. And the work's been done in pretty much in compliance with the approved plan. The septic as-bilt's been submitted to the Board of Health. And they're pretty much okay with it. So at this time, we're going to be requesting a certificate of compliance from Conservation Commission.
we did walk it today, and we noticed that it has not been seeded. Now, when's that gonna be done?
They're not intending to seed it.
Oh,
It's never had a lawn. It's always been kind of, a
Pine
co-
duff?
a pine needle
Yeah.
kind of mulched area, so they don't intend to put a lawn in.
Well, okay, so the surface is pretty raw, and there is a fair amount of slope there. So I was concerned about that. What do you think, Sarah?
You know, it's funny, I didn't say this at the time, but when we were leaving, I wondered about that. It's just the bank, and you know, I couldn't get those particular pictures to get off my camera. I'm sorry I don't have them. But it's the particular part of the bank that starts to head down. And there's a lot of vegetation between the project and the
Yeah.
pond. It's not going into the pond, but there is a little gully of erosion there. And there's a big pile of dirt and a big pile of brush that
Yeah.
really need to be moved.
Right,
So-
the brush needs to be removed. That's probably due to the trees that were cut to put the septic
yeah.
system in.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the project, it's just, it's time for them to go, that's all, or spread around or chopped up or something.
So remove the brush, remove the small pile of sand or
Yeah.
whatever, gravel. And then there's a little area of erosion. Is that kind of the corner of the house there?
It's the flat place where the septic was put in, and then as the ground starts to head down,
Right, the settling tank, just,
Near the tank?
near the tank,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay.
It's not a big, and I had some great pictures, but I don't have them.
if they're not going to seed it, maybe they should put down some hay on it and just something to help hold the
Just in the
dirt.
eroded area?
Yeah, and well, just anywhere where there's a slope, because of course, you know, you're right near a wetland, the pond, and that becomes a concern.
Yeah, it's relatively stable right now, other than that short area that she was talking about.
Uh-huh,
It's, it's been there for a while, and pine needles are already starting to fall on it, so it's
Yeah.
gonna become even more
that's
stable.
true, but we're entering the fall and winter, and we expect precipitation, so it should come down. To issue a certificate of, compliance without it having a little more finished is, to me, a little, maybe, too soon. So, would you like to, should we table this until we, for a month or so and see what Or go ahead and trust that?
Well, I mean, it's up to you. It depends on how people feel. There is that pile of dirt that needs to be moved. I mean, you could issue a partial in the event that they need to move forward on something. I don't know what the situation is. Obviously, I think the intent was to do the right thing, but
Right.
it's up to you. I mean, that pile of dirt shouldn't be left there, and the erosion is there.
What do you
Not,
guys think? Annie?
major, but
What does a partial entail?
The partial would allow them, in case they wanted to do some legal work, if there was something.
I think, so.
the
And
house
in
being-
case they're trying to refinance or sell, I don't know what the situation
Yeah,
is.
they're trying to sell, and the new owner's been basically in waiting since, I don't know, February or so. So it's been kind of a long process, and he's wants to be done, so. It's
a
a septic
surprise,
system,
what a
he's just
surprise.
like, I can't believe it's taken this long, and it's not, no one's fault, it's just been, it's been going on and on and on and
Yeah.
on, so. He's anxious to get it completed.
We put a time, a week or two or something, try to start that time and do a site block, and if not, then what do we do?
That's a question. I mean, if we do a partial and the work doesn't get done, then how do we fall back and?
Well, excuse me, if you do a partial, then they still have to request a complete one.
Right,
I know that some banks allow a sale to move forward because obviously the intent is,
He's there.
we seeded, it hasn't grown in yet, or we cleared it, oops, but we forgot to move the pile of dirt, so.
Okay. So why don't we do that? Why don't we issue a partial certificate and we'll revisit it, say, in 2 months? How's that?
Well, I mean,
2 months.
how long do you
2
think it'll
weeks.
take?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
I would think maybe by the next
wanna give it
meeting.
too
2
much
weeks,
time.
right, 2 weeks.
Okay, 2 weeks.
I mean, they could
do
get the
that
dirt
long
and the
and
brush
move
out of
stuff.
there
Wouldn't it take
by that
one
time,
to-
right? Take care of the erosion spot. You'll see it, it's pretty clear right
Yeah,
where
I
the
think I
slope
saw
is.
it today.
Okay,
yeah.
and if they could do something about that spot, I think,
Right.
because that's really the only kind of, that's where it starts to slope down. And then we can just put it on the agenda for next time, couldn't I?
Sure. Yes, it'll be the 18th,
Okay.
September 18th.
Okay. That's fine. Shall we have a motion on that, please? To issue a partial certificate of completion and to resume the discussion on the 18th.
Yeah, so move, and then
And the
Second.
move and seconded to issue a partial certificate of compliance for 17 Walker Road with the issue to be rediscussed August 18th at our meeting and possibly a full certificate issued at that time. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passed unanimously.
You know, if it ain't done in 2 weeks, then they can just say, we need more time.
Mhm.
Yeah, just so, I mean, special conditions, and I'm sure the applicant, I don't know if you got a copy, but I know the applicant does say excess earth excavated and removed for construction and not used on site shall be removed completely from within 100 feet of any resource area. And also the brush pile. I mean, it's just sort of standard procedure.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm making a mess of this.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah. Mr. Chair, if I may, I just want to ask, so do you want to record this?
Yes,
Okay, all right, so we'll do that, and then, I do, okay, and
You'll
then,
have to pay to do it again.
and it'll, yeah, you'll have to have it done again for the complete certification. Don't record the partial. Okay, very good.
So really 2 weeks, okay.
Okay, now we have some minutes for August 7th. This agenda is very helpful. Brings my head back from New York pretty well. Anyone see any changes that need to be made? Okay, failing that, we need a motion to approve approve the minutes for August 7th as written.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of August 7th.
And a second? Not quite right, okay.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes for August 7th as written. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass unanimously. So, now we have some letters to be looked at. Mhm. The Phoenix arises again on Great Meadow. Where is Marion Drive?
Marion Drive is on the western end of Plymouth Street, the northern part of the street. It's in Buzz's commercial subdivision. It is his commercial subdivision.
Crop Production Services, eh?
That is the old agway that was on the other end of Plymouth Street.
All right, so they may be moving into this location.
That's the plan. Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, as far as I know, they're not near any wetlands. The concern here was largely, groundwater.
Mhm. And other business, Zero Home Street. These properties on Home Street, where they,
So, if I may, Mr. Chair, the in-house group called the Town-Owned Properties Committee, that's made up of various department heads, thank you, Ben. Myself, the town planner, the treasurer collector. We try to have someone from the Recreation Committee there, someone from the Redevelopment Authority. So these are properties that have gone into tax possession.
mhm.
They're out of tax title and in tax possession, and the town is looking to find the best use for the properties. A lot of times, if they were foreclosed homes, for example, the Redevelopment Authority has in the past, I think, resold a couple of those homes, so they get back on the tax rolls and someone has a place to live. These two properties are, here they are pretty much, yeah. Okay. Pretty much almost side by side. They're off Pope's Point Road, near the South Meadowbrook. They're, as you can see from the topographical map, you can see it better. They're basically pretty much all wet. And we've offered them or we've not offered, but we've talked to the abutter to these, and he's just not interested. So I was asked by this Town-Owned Properties Committee to come to the Conservation Commission and find out whether you guys wanted them. I mean, you can access them by helicopter.
Snowshoe?
Swim upstream.
Or swim upstream, right? So, unless for some reason the abutter decides he doesn't need some of the wetlands around there, and it gives us access to something else, that,
Mhm.
you don't have to decide tonight, but it is something to,
We probably should go and take a look at them as best we can, or at least look at the maps and try and,
well, either by,
The town ain't gonna be able to sell them, so
yeah.
I make a motion that the Conservation Commission accept.
okay, sounds good.
That was easy.
Do you
Yeah.
have a map that shows?
That's fine, next time.
We have a motion to have the Conservation Commission accept these.
Second.
Second, is there any discussion? Point there, okay, that's cross. Okay. That's Matt.
So then the process would be that this would go on an article for town meeting, and they would be transferred from tax possession to the Conservation Commission,
Mhm.
if that's the way they vote.
Okay, so yeah, it's behind the bogs over there, let's see, okay. Bogs with the school bus in.
All in favor, say aye.
Well, let's see, do we have any other discussion? Okay, then, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Pass unanimous. Oh, that's the other one there, okay. Okay, there's annulus. And there's. That's the Cross Street box. So that would be. Okay, next item. Since we have no new hearings, we'll proceed to our continued hearing for 19 Green Street. And we,
Mr. Chair, I made,
Yeah.
I beg your pardon, I'm sorry, I should have made one more copy of the photographs I took today when you and I went to look at it. Just to remind everybody, 19 Green Street was King Philip's Hall. The applicant filed a notice of intent with the Conservation Commission to demolish the building, to remove the debris, and and in the notice of intent, it reads, "All disturbed areas will be loamed and seeded." Now, that hearing has been open for quite some time because, here's a copy of the certified letter in which I sent to the landowner specifically detailing what it was that you decided at your last meeting you wanted from him before the building got demolished. And you required a silt fence to be installed, which he actually did. An engineered plan must be submitted to the Conservation Commission showing the square footage of the existing building prior to demolition and the proposed square footage of the gravel parking area that he was proposing. He was proposing a gravel parking area for a farm stand. That was what he said. The engineered plan must also include the location of a proposed retaining wall at the rear of the gravel parking area, the materials to be used to construct this proposed gravel area, and the existing topographical grades and slopes, as well as the proposed topography. Okay, so that's in the letter that he got. We received a phone call from him saying his engineer wouldn't be ready to do that until the end of September. I told him that we had an available alphabetized list of engineers that he could call on. I was sure one of them, would be looking for work. And so he waited until it collapsed on August 26th. So it collapsed into the wetlands. We had pictures of that. Peg took those. Today, Jim and I were out there, and what's happened is, though he did put a silt fence up, but we received no plans for what was there before, what the slopes were, what the topography was, the wetland line, where that was. We just don't have any information. You asked him for a lot of information, and what I did say in one of my emails, which I have in his file, that the commission is entitled to ask for this additional information in order to make your decision. If you need additional information, you're entitled to ask for that. And you're also entitled to deny a project if someone won't give you the additional information. So what's happened actually is he could have filled the wetland. He may have filled only up to 100 feet, but we'll never know because we don't have the plan. We don't know exactly where it was in relation to what's there now. You can see the slope. It's a fair amount of fill. So even if he didn't fill the wetland itself, it's filled within 100 feet. And there's stones put in. It's raised up. It's leveled off. So he's basically already done what he doesn't have a permit to do. That's my interpretation. And I was actually hoping he would be here tonight with and after the fact, or a plan saying, well, this is really what's there, this is what I did, I hope you like it. So my advice is that you close the hearing and deny the rest of his request. So you've already permitted the demolition and removal of the structure, the debris from the structure, and then there's really no statute of limitations on fill. So if he were to come back and say, well, now I'd like to put gravel in there, or I'd like to, whatever it is he'd like to do, you're again entitled to do some enforcement or to request he do something the way you want him to do. You're also entitled to have him take out enough fill so you can determine where that wetland line really was, because it's really hard to tell now. So
I'd like to issue a stop work order so he does nothing more.
well, unfortunately, since that's not on the agenda tonight, we can't actually do that. But if you would like me to put that particular issue on next time's agenda,
I'd
I will
appreciate that.
certainly do that. Okay. I wouldn't vote on it either because it's really
No.
not on the agenda. But it's okay to mention what you want to discuss
Mhm.
next time, I believe.
He says again that he'll be here next week, right? Next meeting.
Oh, I don't know. Did you hear from him, Peg? Because
No.
I haven't heard from him.
Something, let's see. No, I guess that was in the meetings of the last months that he said he'd be here. He requested his hearing be continued until September 18th, as his engineer would be unable to get plans submitted before this date. But he
Right.
proceeded to do work without plans, which,
And without a permit.
yes, and without a permit, yeah.
I mean, you just can't read the law any other way. You can't fill without a permit.
Right, right.
So, as I said, my suggestion is that you not continue the hearing and you close it out and deny the use of the gravel driveway, the berm, the whole 9 yards. And then take it from there.
There's the removal of those rocks that we spoke to him about from the town property on the other side of the entry road there. So,
Yeah, but that's a different,
I know, but it's just that it's the whole layer of things that he just doesn't seem to care enough to do. Okay, so do we have a motion to close the hearing on Mr. Randall's case?
So moved.
And second. Moved and seconded to close the hearing on 19 Green Street. And any further discussion? In that case, would all those in favor please say aye?
Aye.
And any opposed? Pass unanimously. And now the results of our hearing. A motion to deny his request.
yeah, I think it's very specific. You've obviously allowed him the demolition of the building and the removal of the building debris.
But anything else? No.
Right.
So,
So I can tell you what it was he additionally asked for.
fill and grade and putting the gravel.
Okay, so the applicant is also proposing to replace the area with a pervious gravel parking area. So that would be the part that you
Be denied.
would deny.
Okay. Any questions about that? Somebody like to make a motion to, well, let's see, deny any further work on the,
Deny any pervious gravel
any
parking
pervious
area?
gravel
Mhm.
work and,
Yeah,
Not how I do it.
what would you?
How would you do it,
As you're
Dan?
closing the hearing, I would say, make a motion to approve the removal of said building and deny any further work.
Okay.
What he said.
So we need a motion to approve the removal of the building, which has been accomplished, but deny any additional work on the property.
Okay, so moved.
And a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to, on the property at 19 Green Street, to approve the removal of the building, but deny any further work on it. Any further discussion?
On the property.
On the property, yes. Any further discussion? Would all those in favor please say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Again, pass unanimously.
Mm.
So,
the first one was Judy and Russ, now we had Russ and Judy.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
mm,
Russ and Judy, and then
Agreed.
there's Bart's area. So, it looks like that is the end of our business. Are there any other items that need to be discussed?
Well, if it is a notice of intent, you still have to do denial of conditions, I believe. Because you did approve some conditions of the notice and not approve the others.
Right.
So the OOC, which we should vote on, should say the same thing. So we approve
Such and such, and denied such
The
and such.
demolition.
silt fence, blah,
Silt
blah,
fence.
blah, for the removal of the building, everything, all other work proposed is denied,
Okay.
and that should be voted on.
I think he's right.
Okay, it does sound sensible. So we'll have another motion to issue the order of conditions as Dan stated, with those activities we approved, marked as done, and all other activities denied.
Okay, so moved. Gotta try to
And a second on that?
Second.
Person doing the minutes, do you got the right motion?
I do, I've got 3 of them right now. Well, 4 of them actually, because we had to close the hearing.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So we have 4.
So the last one is to approve the removal of the building and the building debris,
Mm-hmm,
and to install the silt fence, but all other proposals are denied.
right.
And we didn't have to remove the debris, yes.
On that question, would all those in favor please say aye?
Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? It's passed unanimous.
I know it seems like double work, but
No, I think it's
any
right.
notice of intent has to have either a full denial, full acceptance, or
Just sign it.
part of each order of
Mhm.
condition.
accepted and denied part.
Oh.
Should be into it. All right, so we'll record it as such, and then he will have to come before us to
That would
clear
be
it.
the recorded
I'm
or
sorry.
the conditions.
Right here.
Oh.
Is this him?
No.
I'm sorry, where's Gary's file?
Oh, you're gonna have
We
to
have it.
copy the maps.
I don't know. Okay.
We have it. All right, so here are the order conditions. Do you want to fill these out? And we'll sign.
I'm sure
Okay.
they're that wet. It's way back in the corner, actually, it's next to Bart Bruffy's area.
Okay.
It looks like he is cleared a whole batch of stuff back there.
Yeah, I'm gonna find out how to actually fill this out because it's a very unusual situation, but there is a box to check for denied because the information submitted by the applicant is not sufficient to describe the site, so,
Check that definitely.
but I'm not sure what to do about the approved part, because if you check approved, it means the project was approved, so.
Is there no?
But
lines
we've
on-
already issued the emergency certification to approve the demolition anyway.
Yes, but it's still part of the notice.
You can totally do both. You can prove partial. Prove partial.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Hmm.
I'll figure it out.
We'll get autographs here.
Yep, while we have you. Okay.
Mhm.
Shouldn't they be done after we do it?
Hmm?
Shouldn't they be done after?
We already passed
Oh, okay.
to close the
No, I
hearing
meant-
based on what's,
Gotcha.
yeah, partial, but no further work. So we record this at the registry. Yeah.
After what?
After which box we checked.
Oh,
It says
it's kind of a
partial.
technicality, so,
Oh,
but
okay.
I'll be sure and get the right thing.
No, I understand what you're saying.
It's confusing.
The bills, right?
These are the bills.
We need a couple more signatures on it.
I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, I really don't know. This one goes back, okay. That's the one we just signed.
Want this one signed?
That's gonna be signed.
Nobody seconded, Dan.
I'll second it.
Jim?
Yeah.
Want these signed?
Yes, yes, sign that, please.
Do I hear a vote?
Okay, that's got 5 on. Okay, so it's been moved and seconded to adjourn. Since there's no discussion, let's think very deeply. Shall we adjourn?